Hello, this is Mili Ponce from Social Sunburn, and today we're going to be interviewing Roger from Roundabout Social. So, hello, Roger.
Thank you. Hello.
So, tell us a bit about yourself, your background.
Roger, and in Dutch you pronounce it Rogier. It's a different name, but it sounds almost the same. I've been an entrepreneur for about 20-something years now. Basically, that's what I do in the last 20 years. And we're currently running a new company for the last 4 or 5 years on social media.
How did you think this is what we're going to do? Was it you? Was it other people in the company?
No, basically one of my former companies was more a tech company where we have been building a social network. And in the time that we were running that and launching that, companies were asking us about social media. This is about five and a half years ago. So the early days of, for example, Facebook advertising. And those companies were thinking that if you could build a social network, you probably are good to manage it as well, and social media in general. So we went into this business and got pretty excited about it, especially the advertising part of it. In the years of 2016, it was mostly Facebook advertising, of course. So we went into that and we noticed that there were not a lot of companies moving there yet. So there was a lot to learn and a lot of things to discover. And one of the things we were starting to do was being an agency, so doing campaigns for clients. And that took off. We have been doing that for the last 4 years, running, I think, over 150 different clients in the world, in 30 different countries, and the most amazing brands where we could do campaigns for. And the last few years, we were getting a little bit annoyed by the way you have to act on your campaigns. It should be real time and it should be easy to adjust your campaigns, but for example, Facebook is not really providing the right tools for that. So we went back to being a little bit of a tech company and we've built our own dashboard in the last few years, which is alive since this summer. So we did a COVID launch, pivot the company in these crazy times. And we just launched recently, a few weeks ago, our own community, a global community for social media experts around the world, where we bring people and knowledge together. So we're very much into the social media space.
So tell us about how it works and what is the difference between your tool and the other tools in the market?
Yeah, good question. The interesting thing in social media advertising is that you should act on it in real time. So Facebook or LinkedIn or Pinterest or Snap are giving you real-time data to move on, and you can actually change it while doing a campaign. That's different from Google Ads or bannering or advertising campaigns. Standard campaign in Facebook, you have thousands of different buttons you can actually tweak to get to ban. And pretty much no one knows which button to touch at the right moment, at which time, and how to improve it. So what we've been doing is build a campaign management tool that allows you to adjust the right button in real time at the right moment. Like a stop sign, it's red or green. Basically every line in your campaign is red or green and it should be adjusted, or should have more budget or less budget, or should switch off at all, for example. That's one of the tools we've built, and the other one is about discovering audiences. One of the things we figured out is that most companies just retarget people. So retarget people who were on their website and retarget them the 5th time and the 10th time and the 15th time and keep on doing that. But discovering new audiences was pretty complicated, we figured out. So we built a tool that listens on social media around subjects or topics or hashtags, and it collects very intelligent information about real audiences. So personas like people, men, women, ages, geography, for example, and interests. The ingredients you have to use when you build a new audience in, for example, Facebook. So it's a very cool tool. Yeah. And we're different from any other in that area, what we've seen so far.
Would you say that your tool is for end users or for agencies or for both?
Both. Yeah, we got a lot of agencies around the globe using it, but we got a lot of marketeers as well that are using it. So it's both.
Excellent. And is it an app that you can download, or is it a website?
No, it's a web app. So you go to our app system. Yeah. No, it's difficult to put it in an app actually. So we've not been doing that. It's a desktop app.
And is it available for what networks? So what networks can you work with?
For campaign management, we use Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Pinterest now. And building Snap and TikTok. One of the first actually that got LinkedIn into there. So that's very interesting. It's an interesting learning phase for us as well. And on the social listening part, what we do for audiences, we use Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, and Twitter.
Wow, so you have integrated already TikTok.
Yeah, that was a big challenge to get it integrated. Yeah.
That's pretty good. Excellent. So as an entrepreneur, what was your biggest challenge? Maybe all across your experience as an entrepreneur or with this last venture?
I think that comes together in the present time. The most challenging part I've ever seen is pivoting a company with so much going on, which no one ever saw before, I think. The hardest thing to do is keep up what you have. We have an agency and it kept on running, but we lost a pretty bunch of clients in the early days of COVID. And we managed to find a new way to grow again in a world where we don't connect together. We are not in Lisbon together, but we're sitting across a screen apart from each other now. So that's how sales is different as well now too. You don't get out for a coffee with someone and try to make a deal, but you have to do it in a screen situation. So that was difficult. And the other part is launching new products in this area, in this time. It's weird, but it's fun. I think there's not really a downside to that. I think that's an opportunity. It's a real opportunity to launch in these crazy times where everyone is still trying to cope. You have to step up, I think. That's why we launched the community as well this year. So.
That's really, really useful.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think there's an angle. Yeah,
definitely. So what would you say to people that are trying or thinking of starting as an entrepreneur, leaving their job, starting as an entrepreneur, in not only in COVID times in general? What would you say?
I think there's only one advice. Don't do it to make the most money you can imagine. Don't do it to build something that you think of, but do it because it's your passion. Just that. We've learned in these crazy times with COVID that your passion for what you do needs to be so strong to keep going, because for most companies everything is falling apart a little bit now, and trying to keep up is the hardest job they have to do, and that's what being an entrepreneur means. You have to keep on going.
Excellent. So now tell us about the Web Summit. Why did you choose the Web Summit?
That was easy. We've been doing Web Summit as a startup for the last 2 years. No, we've been doing it 2 years for the last 3 years. So we've been a startup at Web Summit for 2 editions. Yeah, we hated the fact that it's not going to be there this year, at least not in the sun in Lisbon. We took so much out of it the last few editions with new clients, new prospects, new contacts. So for us, it was a no-brainer to go online this time.
Excellent. Well, I don't want to take more of your time. We really appreciate that you've given us this time to talk to our readers and our listeners. So we hope that we can maybe do an interview in a year just to have an update on how the company is doing.
Yeah, cool. Very cool. Yeah, before Summit again. Yeah.
Yeah, before the Summit again, exactly. Or maybe we meet in the Summit and we can have an interview.
In the sun, yes. Very good. That's a promise. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
And talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. Thanks.